called the small rudder that turns the big rudder that turns the ship. That small rudder is no bigger than a couple of meters. And I wondered, how could that small thing move a city right and left? I call this the power of intention, which is most of the time neglected from individuals and institutions. I truly believe if you have the right intention, the whole universe conspires with you in ways that you do not understand. And this is the Prophet saying, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ وَإِنَّمَا لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مَا نَوَى. I've seen the power of intention across all cultures. And it's a universal order. And books comes out, start with why, and so forth. They never taught us how to create our intention. And they should, in schools, teach us how to have a good intention in life. The power of giving, the more you give, the more you receive. Only in the last 2 decades, we kept hearing about corporate social responsibility. Where was it 20 years ago? How come suddenly the whole world talk about corporate social responsibility? How come suddenly Bill Gates gives $1 billion, Warren Buffett's $2 billion? Why is that? Is it for tax return? Absolutely not. Is it because they love their societies very much? Maybe. But I assure you one thing. All of them found out the more they give their societies, the more the money they make at the end of the year. And they can't even explain it. And there are books written about this. They tapped into the universal order, the reward system. Good. God wants it to be this way. Wants us to tell us a very strong message. The way you make more is to by giving more. Power of ethical management, integrity pays. You don't have to cheat to win. Now they call it the economics of integrity. Books comes out now. That if you have integrity, you're honest, you're going to make more money. And now books try to explain why is that, although it should be the logical thing. But now they have to prove to the whole world, no, be honest, you make more money. Have a high integrity, you'll make more money. You'll be more successful. Winners Never Cheat, wonderful book about a self-made billionaire speaks out of honesty and generosity. The International Medical Center was chosen as the institution to represent the corporate social responsibility in Jeddah Economic Forum. Jeddah Economic Forum, usually the caliber of speakers are the Prime Minister of Malaysia, Mahathir Mohamad, Clinton, Greenspan, and others. So why would Jeddah Economic Forum choose the International Medical Center to represent corporate social responsibility? What have we given to our societies compared to the giants who are giving every year hundreds of millions of riyal? They chose us because our theme is very unique. We believe at IMC the most significant contribution organizations contribute to its society is not by dedicating a certain percentage of the profits at the end of the year for social programs. It is by abiding with the highest standards of ethics, values, every day of its operation. Because the damage institutions contribute to societies by not abiding with these standards far exceeds any benefits societies will receive from whatever amount of money dedicated at the end of the year. If every organization becomes ethical with high standards, societies will flourish. We truly believe at IMC that we are living in a world of abundance, not scarcity. But because of our greed and corruption, we make it feel as scarce. And from that point, everything goes smooth. I truly believe that the International Medical Center have right now reached what we call the tipping point. And that's a wonderful book. It talks about how little things can make a big difference. As a matter of fact, all great things start with small things. And talks about what we call the viral epidemic and how we can have people who start a social epidemic. And at IMC, we would like to start this social epidemic with those ideas. And my prayer every day for God to make me infectious with these ideas. I want to infect as many people as possible around the world because that's what makes us valuable on this earth to revive those concepts and values. The first time in the history of Saudi Arabia, the king and the crown prince come to open a facility. You ask me, how did we convince the king to come to open the facility? I cannot answer you because it's not me. It's God's decided that the king has to come, and I truly believe it has to do with the mission, vision, and the wonderful souls of the early farmers who started this place and their prayers. King Abdullah University Science and Technology, a huge project, $20 billion endowment into research. They have a medical facility, which they say we want the best medical facility ever. And we entered the bid against hospitals been there for 30 years and more. We were told, you must be crazy. You are a very young institution, only 2 years old. How could you bid on something like this? So we did. Aramco was the one who's evaluating the bids. They came to our hospital as well as other hospitals. We had received the highest score. One of the leaders thought this is too good to be true. Wait, don't announce it, don't inform them. He came with 2 individuals unannounced, spent 3 hours in this hospital talking to patients, talking to some of the farmers without them knowing who are these people. He picked up the phone that night and told them, there's no comparison between this place and every other place. Please go ahead and sign with them as soon as possible. Alhamdulillah, we finished commissioning on time. We're actually the first institution to finish commissioning in this great university, and we're serving the institution there with a very high patient satisfaction. This is the signing of the agreement. Now, there was an independent study done by SAGIA looking at the patient satisfaction in a very complex index, and that's, again, it's an independent study which showed that the International Medical Center has the second highest patient satisfaction in Saudi Arabia, whether government or private. Now, why second? Because the first one happens to be a free care, open budget, and they've been there for more than 30 years. That's King Faisal in Riyadh. And even the study, if they try to compare it correctly, it's not apple to apple, because this is not a free care hospital. So I could say now we have the highest patient satisfaction in Saudi Arabia. In numbers, we've been growing very fast from the outpatient to ER, to rehab, to inpatient, to OR cases, to laboratory, medical images. We received the award of the best hospital in the Middle East from Business Arabia, as well as the best CEO of the year. Dr. Loop, who is one of the greatest leaders in healthcare, and he served the Cleveland Clinic as a CEO and chairman of the board for 15 years, which is, by the way, is very unique because no CEO made it for 15 years. And he made Cleveland Clinic to what it is today. Now, he's the one who discovered that IMC is worthy. When I came to him in Cleveland Clinic in 2001, and I said, Dr. Loop, I have no money, no investors, no partners, no company, no hospital. I only have designs on papers. But he realized, no, we have the right mission and the right vision. And he supported us. Now he is joining us as permanent board member of the International Medical Center. And as he made his first legacy in life, which is the Cleveland Clinic, he's going to help us for second legacy of life to make the IMC the best healthcare institution in the Middle East. And this is some of the board members. This is the IMC as it stands today. And this is the expansion for our medical school, inshallah, our medical conference, and our tower expansion. Long-term facility project already has finished. Satellite clinics north of Jeddah, inshallah, we'll start this project late this year, next year, inshallah. The hospitality complex, which is a hotel to be built across the street, inshallah. Our next vision, inshallah, our medical school. And in the last 5 minutes, I will just share with you our vision for the medical school. We realized that there's crisis in medicine because most medical schools don't have a very clear description of the product in terms of the how this doctor will look like in terms of honesty, sincerity, humbleness. If you don't have a clear description of the product, how could you put the right criteria for selection? I remember 1987, first day of medical school, George Washington. I could pick up 5 or 6 students don't belong to medicine. Because we ask each other, why do you go to medicine? The majority have those very idealistic view of the whole world. But you have 5 and 6 from day number 1. I would like to make the most amount of money ever. I know nothing against plastic surgeons, but 2 of them says, I want to be a plastic surgeon, and I want to drive my Porsche. And you can tell, if those guys start those days with those pragmatic, materialistic concepts, by the time they get to the real world, they're going to be something else. So for us who start very idealistic, later in life we start becoming more pragmatic, realistic because of our pressures of life and kids and so forth. So if you have no clear description of the product, you don't have a clear description of the selection criteria. If you have no clear description of the product, how could you select the right professors who could help you achieve that product? If you believe the true healer or a vehicle of healing should be humble, down to earth, how could you produce a humble physician if the teacher is arrogant? So we thought we should do something about that. Now, you hear this very often, especially in the States. People say, I fought my way through medical school. What they're trying to tell you is that at one point, I will ask society to pay me back. I will ask society to pay me back, right? How about if we reverse it? Do it in a way that the student says, society has been very kind to me, and it's time for me to pay back society. So we thought of doing the following, and I was able to convince my investors, partners, to do a non-for-profit medical school in which we build it, and we have enough trust to cover the tuition. We select, we look at the whole area, not Saudi Arabia, go beyond, find those who are worthy to be physicians, put a very stringent criteria, questionnaire, put them through a battery of tests to identify those who are truly, genuinely want to serve humankind, get them on board. They might be somebody who's poor in a country not known. Bring that person, invest in that person, make him feel that, or make her feel like society is being very kind to me. Put the right curriculum, right ethics, right values, right professors. Hopefully, you produce different generation. Doctors who feel that it's time for me to pay back society. Maybe we can reverse that decline in healthcare, because I truly believe we physicians, under the pressure that we're living in, many of the doctors became a financial transaction. And that's not what we all went to school for. We went to school, all of us, because we have something to give our humankind. And for all of us, we have this conflict. And somehow we have to solve that conflict so we become comfortable, and we don't hide that beautiful part of us due to the harsh environment around us. So that's our medical school. And now we finished the presentation. I'll just go over the logo. The logo here, we have our tree that we talked about, mind, body, heart, and spirit. We call it our blessed tree. We call ourselves farmers. And for those who are going to join us, they're going to be also farmers with us. And the beauty about IMC, the value of each individual depends on how much they contribute to that tree. So you could be joining yesterday and be more valuable than me, because you're contributing more than me to that tree. And I leave it to, at this point, to tell you that I welcome all of you to the International Medical Center. And I do pray to God that God will select for us from all around the world those who share the same vision, same values, to help us accomplish this life commitment and life mission and vision, inshallah. Thank you very much.